All right, we're all together. And then, Alex, so just one quick housekeeping issue here. We also have Marla on the phone with us. You there, Marla?
Hello.
There she is. So, Alex, do we need your permission to have the call recorded? Marla's on our social media team, and we wanted to use the questions and answers for a potential blog or social media post. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, so thanks for taking the time, Alex. We appreciate you reaching out, and we're excited to be able to spend some time on the phone with you today.
Me as well.
So where are you located?
I'm in Cincinnati. I just finished up my freshman year at University of Cincinnati, studying software development.
We are. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Have you developed remote code before, or
No, I've written code before. I do web development. Back in 7th grade, I started a video production company. So I've been doing like video stuff for a while, and that kind of transitioned into, I don't know, my dad's an electrical engineer, so we'll make stuff in the back and I'll program robots and stuff like that.
Nice. That's cool. Sounds good. Well, hey, let's jump right into it. So I have some questions in front of me here that you asked Claudia. They were sent over to us. And if we have any extra time, you can ask away on anything else that you want to throw our way. So I'll just jump into the first question that he had, Mark. So the first question was, what kind of new battery technology did you use to achieve the battery life that you did and still fit it inside of a credit card?
Yeah, so that's obviously what we have two major problems with trying to design a product like ours. And, the first one's always form factor and also battery consumption as well, right? So we're always trying to maximize the amount of space we put a battery in, and also make sure all the components use as little power as possible. It's fortunately, and this goes on to sort of answer, I guess, maybe a question, a later question as well, but it's fortunately one of those things that, as time goes on, things become more and more achievable. There's been quite a few suppliers actually being fortunate to work with to fit it's pretty much a very standard kind of lithium-ion rechargeable cell that's, custom, size for our device. I'm not 100%, don't quote that at 100%, but I think we've got a 20 milliamp battery in there.
20 milliamp battery? Wow, then your components use no power.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's no power consumption, yeah. So.
Yeah. So, it's like, I mean, you probably can appreciate with your father being an electrical engineer, that's one of the ultimate challenges, the form factor and, the battery consumption, really, that's all we high on our agenda,
Right. Wow, that's amazing.
Also shipping with it, Alex, is it's also, like Mark said, a rechargeable lithium-ion battery. So, we'll be shipping a wireless charging mat with the physical card, with the device. So, there's a lot of actual intelligent notifications that go along with that. So, before the battery dies on the card, you're going to be notified through push notifications to your smartphone that the battery's at a level that needs to be charged. We'll also send email notifications to you.
So
it's all about the communication, right? We don't want to have you out and about and have a dead card with you. We're definitely going to have parameters set in place that you'll be communicated to prior to that battery getting to a level where the card is not functioning.
Right. I haven't read much about inductive charging technology. Does the device control its charging, or does the card itself control the charging, or does your mat control the charge? Does that make sense?
Yeah, the card itself controls the charge.
Interesting. So if the card were to die, like completely dead, can you still bring it back?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we aim to not make sure it doesn't go into that state, but yes, we can.
Okay, cool.
Good question.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Alex has this. You guys have obviously been working on this for a long while. How did your game plan change when other products similar to this, such as coin, Helix, etc., came into the market? So I guess, I mean, kind of interesting. So Mark and I started working on Plastc actually way before we actually heard of coin. I mean, a little background on that. Alex is, we were engineering the project and doing a lot of electrical design and everything on the product. And when we heard the coin launch, it took everything in Mark and I to not just release our product on our pre-order campaign, and it took a lot of self-will to hold back to go live on our pre-order launch when we had them come out. So I guess to answer your question, we were working on it prior to coin before they came live, and we wanted to make sure that we vetted out all of our technology and the manufacturing capabilities and the way that we're going to actually build the card. We wanted to have that confidence that we would deliver the product before we came out with that pre-order campaign.
Right. So yeah, that's what I read.
In all fairness, though, like the vision for the card, we haven't been influenced by any other player out there, right? So from early on, it's really been about how do we execute the vision, right? And what technologies are able to do that. So a huge amount of research and development into e-ink screens, manufacturing, all that kind of stuff was going on way before all those other guys came about. But ultimately, it's not exactly, but very similar to the card you see today on the website is what our initial vision was.
Wow. I remember reading that you guys had worked on, I think you worked on this for like 3 years, maybe I read somewhere from now. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's longer than that now, but yeah.
Anyway.
It's been quite a few years put into it, so
if I was doing a startup, which I visit all the different startup accelerators and such around Cincinnati, and if a startup were to another startup were to enter into the same market that I'm trying to enter into, when I was working in secrecy, I think I'd have a hard time not trying to rush my product to market. That's why I was asking.
Oh no, and trust us. So me and Ryan had so many discussions, arguments, and everything about when we should actually go public.
yeah.
But ultimately, we knew we couldn't actually come out publicly until we knew we could definitely manufacture this product, right? So there was, at that point in time, there was still, a couple of key unknowns that we weren't prepared to, run that risk,
Yeah.
So that's where it stands,
We're
all, we're like 100. Go on, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, were you worried that, I don't remember all the numbers for coin, but very quickly after they announced their pre-order thing, they got a ton of backers, and yeah, did that make you nervous that the people not knowing about your product would kind of sign on with these guys before? Yeah, I'm sure it did.
No, definitely. It's about first to market, pretty key, a key part of success to a business. There's two ways of looking at it, right? And what we learned from it is what it gave us was validation, right? Is that there's definitely a huge requirement and demand for a smart card of such, and that was really our takeaway. And were we going to be the first to market with it? No, we weren't. They beat it to the post. We didn't know anything about it. They didn't know anything about us. We're really 100% focused on user experience and execution, quality, and we just believe that it's worth waiting, to get that right. And albeit, it's taken us longer to come out to the
Well, I think it paid off because I think Coin even rushed themselves, right? As they've said.
Oh no, I mean,
yeah.
It's been a nightmare. I mean, Ryan could probably elaborate more on, we wish Coin was so much more successful than they were, because it would certainly help us as well.
I actually backed them like when they first came out, and and then they kind of just like drug everybody along, and then a lot of people that I know, I actually got a bunch of my friends to buy them too, and then they kind of drug them along, and I think all my friends dropped off, and they still haven't shipped. They still haven't shipped them, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like you say, I mean, we just feel like, we wish they were able to deliver on their promise and, definitely, help everybody. Shame.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. Next question is, what's the most rewarding, most difficult thing about having a physical product as the item you are selling versus having a piece of software you are trying to market? It's Mark and I. Many people probably don't know this, but this is Alex. This is actually our second business venture together. So Mark and I have been doing entrepreneurship, business for about 8 years together already. And our first business was software, and software also has its challenges and its ups and its downs. And, comparing software versus a physical product, I mean,
not really
Plastc
comparable.
actually, it's night and day difference, right? I mean, Plastc actually has two components to it. Plastc has a physical product, and it also has a software piece to it because of our wallet.
Right.
So this business actually compiles both of them into one product. So I mean, the most difficult thing about having a physical product, I'm sure Mark has his opinions too, but versus software is physical products. There's a lot more moving parts and partners and manufacturers and suppliers and components. I mean, inside a plastic card, I mean, there's so many different components and chips that go into our board that it's a lot more, I guess you can say, physical things that you have to touch and move, and relationships that have to be put in place versus the software product.
Yeah, I think on one end of the scale, you could build, I mean, like things like companies like Facebook built literally out of their bedroom, right?
Right.
Like the tools and the requirements and the barriers to entry are so little that, that's what's great about software, and it's the polar opposite with hardware, right?
Exactly.
We're talking about manufacturing, we're talking about investment, we're talking about prototyping, entering the unknown, actually creating something, realizing the problem, solving the problem, and it's tangible stuff that ultimately costs a lot of money and time, and that's your difference, is being able to try to realize your vision it's much more expensive, much more difficult. I mean, I brought products to market, physical products to market in my past before I met Ryan. We set the software, it's practice plastic, but it's real, right? I mean, it's difficult. It's like Ryan said, there's lots of moving parts, but ultimately there's physical stuff that goes on that you've got to tool up for, create inventory and make sure it gets to the right place at the right time, so that guy can build this component and put it in this component. So yeah, I think that they're the key differences. And I think like the second part of your question on the virtual order bit.
So that's the last question. What motivated you guys in early stages to press on and make something that was very difficult to create?
I thought, what's the most rewarding thing about having a physical product?
Oh yeah.
So I think there's nothing more rewarding, and I can tell this from my past experiences, than seeing a product that you created on a shelf in a store. Right, that's just the ultimate. So I think we get to see that, but we're getting close.
Yeah, I have a couple. I'm like into the entrepreneurial stuff as well, and I've got a couple ideas that I've been working on, and some of them are like physical things, and some of them are like solely on the like excuse me, web application type stuff. And I always kind of struggle. I know I have to pick one, but I kind of struggle which one I should work towards more. Yeah, but
I'll tell you what, I mean, it's your gut will tell you. Your gut will tell you which one to work on most. And, you know, from my experience, I would encourage you to work on one that has mass consumer adoption and scale, and something that you know, don't put yourself into a niche. Even though building a niche businesses can be very fun, if you're going to build something that can reach the masses.
what'd you say? You kind of cut out. Ilan and knit something.
Niche, right? Building a niche product is
Okay.
fun, and you can have a good time and make a good living out of it. But you know, if you have multiple options on your table, you know, I would recommend going after something that has more of a mass scale.
All right.
But you know, there's a quote I like to use. There's one of my favorite photographers is named by a guy by the name of Chris Burkhardt. I don't know if you've heard of Chris Burkhardt before, but as far as he being an entrepreneur, you know, he said something recently in a TED Talk that jumped out at me, and it says anything that is worth pursuing is going to require us to suffer just a little bit. So regardless of what you do in your life, and as far as building a product, regardless of what you choose, it's going to require you to suffer. And you know, there's definitely hurdles you have to jump through to go down the route of an entrepreneur. So.
All right. Thank you. I'll have to look up Chris. I just Googled him. He's got some cool stuff.
Yeah, check him out. Awesome guy. He's awesome. He's awesome. Go listen to his TED Talk. He did a talk recently about the joys of surfing in ice cold water, and it hits on a lot of good points that everybody should have.
Why not? He hired the guy before he was famous, right?
Right. I did. He worked for me at one of my early. He was shipping boxes for me before he was famous.
Really, that's cool.
But so, is there anything else we can answer for you? There any other questions that you want to throw our way before we jump off?
Well, just the last one.
I don't think you answered the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last one. Let me bring that up.
So like you just have this concept, right? Of this for yours. I also wanted to ask about the circuit board architecture and how that works. But anyway, like there's some crazy components that have to go into making like what you guys are doing in terms of like form factor and everything else. And when you look at like when you step back at like the beginning and look how you're going to achieve that, it seems pretty daunting. I just want to know what motivated you to continue or pursue that.
I don't know. I think it's just like it's just the want to, right? You know, I think as an entrepreneur, you believe literally anything's possible. You know, and I think what happened with me and Ryan and Plastc early on was that in reality we couldn't execute on our vision, you know, 3-4 years ago because you know some of the technologies weren't actually available, and nor did we want to be on the cusp of being a test bed for certain things. So it's really about, you know, making sure that, you know, we always believed that this would be possible one day, and we were almost just waiting for the day that we would actually have, you know, the key missing components that would be able to put the whole thing together. And I think just the thing that kept us like going on it is the fact that, you know, we always believed that day would come, and we were just waiting for it, right? So, you know, we just constantly researching and building stuff to be able to prove out what's possible, what's not, you know, what things might have to change in the world or the industry. You know, I mean, we're always looking at the cusp of like what's next, you know, I mean, even things like nanotechnology and things like that and how that could affect our business and in what spaces, you know. So I think it's really just being able to be visionary and be able to, you know, believe that the things are possible, and sometimes you just got to wait for the right time. When things are doable, and you know, I think a huge part of that is actually when consumers are ready
it's just motivation, right? I mean, your question was what motivated you, and I think, as Mark said, as an entrepreneur, one of the biggest things that gets you up in the morning and keeps you going long hours into the night and working 7 days a week on a project is, achieving something that is difficult to do. And, overcoming different hurdles of manufacturing or form factor or consumer acceptance or merchant acceptance, right? There's so many different hurdles that we have to overcome. And as an entrepreneur, there are so many achievements that you are able to accomplish when you're tackling a project like this. And when you have those small successes, every day there's a new success. I mean, honestly, until you experience it, you may have experienced it, but there's an adrenaline that goes through your body when you accomplish something major or close a big deal that as an entrepreneur, you just experience it, and it's literally like a drug,
Yeah.
Keep it going, right? So, and that's what me and Ryan thrive off of is the sense of achievement of being able to, make something happen, right? I think the other thing as well is the only other thing that we've got, and we're really fortunate for it, is we've got each other to motivate each other as well.
Yeah.
Right? So when one's down, we pick the other one up, and I think that when you're a solo entrepreneur, I think that's probably quite difficult, but I think, that's a real key component, right? See, I'm just picking up my video up there.
Yeah, there you go. So,
Yeah,
good.
the solo entrepreneur thing, I think, is probably part of it. Yeah.
Because it's human nature to get down, man. It really is, right? Everyone has emotion, and you hit a roadblock, and you get down, and you need another perspective or another guy to smack you upside the head and say, let's go, get up. So,
yep.
I think also, when you've done things that are really hard in the past, sometimes things that are hard to other people aren't necessarily so difficult to yourself, right? So it's the perception of scale, right? So, it's like there's ups and downs as well, when things are great, when things are bad, or I should say the way around, when things are bad, you'll be able to appreciate the thing when things are good, right? But yeah, so I think, as things like that incrementally happens and, you hit some key milestones, that's what drives you, it just becomes more and more possible, right?
Yeah. And then you also, as far as motivation factor goes, Mark and I have always had an ethos in the office, and anyone we hire, right, we always try to hire the best expert to people that are smarter than we are in areas that we're looking for. And there comes a point as an entrepreneur where you literally have to throw your pride out the window, and you have to just trust in the people that you've hired and know that there are people that are smarter than you, and there are people that can do different things better than you, and you just need to accept that and embrace it.
Right.
And that's what makes a good company.
All right.
All right. Well, hey, it was got to jump on another call, but
yep.
It's great chatting. Appreciate your time.
Yep. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate your time. So Claudia, that arranged the call with you today. Have you ordered a Plastc card already?
I have to cancel my other one, which they locked me out of my Social Security thing.
Okay, all right. So what we're gonna do for you, you took the time out of your day, you spoke with us, and we appreciate your time. So Claudia this afternoon is gonna email you a code. You're gonna get a coupon code, and you'll be able to go on our website and pre-order a Plastc card for free. Okay.
Awesome.
So you're getting hooked up today, and we'll get that over to you later on this afternoon. So we appreciate your time.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right. Nice chatting with you. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Bye.